Welcome to Legal Matters with the Crosby Law Firm and WIFR. I'm Mike Garrigan with 23 News, and our guest is attorney Michael Crosby with the Crosby Law Firm. Legal Matters is a half-hour informational and news call-in show devoted to a variety of legal topics of interest to State Line viewers. We have attorneys standing by right now to take your call at the number on your screen, who will provide you with free information regarding your issue. So call now and throughout the next half hour. Our opening statement tonight concerns two issues. First, we're going to talk tonight about how to take the mystery out of the legal process. And secondly, we're going to devote some time tonight to the foreclosure situation in the Rock River Valley and how you can manage a very difficult situation. Before we get started tonight, I'd like to remind our viewers of the multiple practice areas the Crosby Law Firm concentrates in. The Crosby Law Firm has a Center for Divorce and Family Law, an Auto Accident and Injury Department, a Bankruptcy Institute, an Office for DUI, Traffic and Criminal Defense, an Advanced Care Plan and Probate Center, and a Division for Real Estate and Business. So please feel free to call tonight and discuss any of these practice areas with the attorneys, again, standing by live to take your calls. Now on to tonight's topic, and we're talking a little bit about solving the mystery of the legal process. Now, when you go to a doctor, a lot of us State Line viewers do multiple times a year. When you go to a lawyer, it might be multiple times in a lifetime. So there is some mystery there, isn't there?
No question. Before we get started, Mike, I want to thank you and WIFR for inviting us tonight. I hope that we're able to provide your viewers with some thoughtful and informative information that will help them. Coming away from our last episode, it occurred to me that most folks that were watching this show have an occasion to visit a physician 2 or 3 times a year, typically for a physical examination, perhaps if they have a bout of the flu or a cold. Unlike visiting a lawyer, where they typically will visit a lawyer maybe 2 or 3 times in their entire lifetime. So when they visit the doctor, they know the routine. They check in with the receptionist, they wait a few moments in the lobby, the nurse takes them back, takes their pulse, asks them some clinical questions, and then they eventually visit with a physician who hopefully diagnoses their issue or takes care of the physical exam. In a legal setting, in a lawyer's office, a lot of these folks don't know what the process is. We've tried to put together a template that's very similar to a physician's office. So when you visit with us, you'll check in with the receptionist. There's some basic paperwork to take care of. We value your time, so we do our level best to not have to have you wait for an inordinate period of time in the lobby. So shortly after you check in, you'll be visiting with a lawyer who will provide you with a free consultation and will do his best to diagnose your issue, diagnose your problem. We're all about trying to reduce the stress when you visit with us and at the same time solve your issues.
And again, the key word is free. Many law firms charge an hourly fee for consultation or for a visit. What do you do and what have you done to make that aspect more client-friendly at Crosby Law Firm?
Well, typically there's a part 1 and a part 2. Part 1 is a free consultation that lasts roughly 15 minutes to 45 minutes. And then once we've gathered the initial information, if we decide that it's necessary to go on for an extended consultation, which can last up to 1 to 2 hours, there'll be a flat charge for the extended consultation to complete the diagnosis of the case, to sort out how we need to proceed, what needs to happen next. Once we've identified what the issues are and developed a strategy to problem solve for the client, we accept the case. The client is then escorted across the hall to our scheduling office, where they make their next appointment to visit with the lawyer that's going to be in charge of the case. And that's a critical point in our office. Just as with a doctor's office or a hospital, there's a cardiovascular surgeon, there's a neurosurgeon, there's an oncologist, depending on the healthcare area. In our firm, we have lawyers that concentrate in particular areas. So you're not going to be working with a lawyer that isn't concentrating in your area of the law, that's not aware of what your issues are. So in our firm, it's a team approach where we bring lots of resources to the table.
And your team approach is a team of 7 attorneys with over 110 years of experience. How does that experience work for the people out there?
Well, as I've mentioned, what happens in our firm is once we've accepted your case, there will be a lead attorney assigned to your case. And his department, his support staff, will also be working with you. So we bring all of the resources to the table, much more than just a solo proprietor. It's an entire firm with individual lawyers focused on you. We know what your issues are. and we know how important it is to problem solve them in a professional fashion. So yes, we have 7 attorneys, lots of experience, been doing this for over 33 years in the Rockford area. That's what we bring to the table. That's the way we try to reduce your stress, problem solve.
And eliminating the mystery means keeping the client informed. How do you go about doing that?
In our office, after we've met with you for the extended consultation, accepted the case, scheduled you for your next visit, when you come back and meet with us, we meet with you periodically, every 2 to 4 weeks, every 4 to 6 weeks on a regular basis. We manage the case with periodic in-person visits. One of the biggest complaints about lawyering and representing clients is you don't return my phone call. We try to return phone calls within 2 business days of the time we get them. But above and beyond merely returning the call, we want to meet with you in person every 2 to 4 weeks. That way you see our facial expressions, our body language, we see your facial expressions, your body language. We much better relate to your case. Our goal is to empathize with you, relate to what's going on in your life so that we can advance the ball in a professional and in a timely fashion.
All right, and just a reminder, the Crosby Law Firm has attorneys standing by right now to take your call and provide you with free information regarding what issue you may have. If the lines are busy, keep trying or call the next business day as well. We do have some foreclosure questions we want answered, and Michael Crosby will address those concerns when Legal Matters continues. Welcome back to Legal Matters. I'm 23 News anchor Mike Garrigan, talking law with Michael Crosby from the Crosby Law Firm. And just a reminder, we do have attorneys from the Crosby Law Firm standing by right now, so call the number on your screen. They are there live to answer any question you might have on any subject of the law. And again, we will be there until 7:30 tonight to answer your questions. So we encourage you to call if you have any questions, for sure. One issue that has plagued the state line in recent years is foreclosures. Since the Great Recession, there's been a large amount of homes that have gone to foreclosure. In fact, since 2012, 3,000 state line homes have been foreclosed upon. That's why we want to devote some time to this pressing matter. So, Mike, as we join you once again, do you have any general observations about the housing meltdown, both here in the state line and in the country?
I do, Mike. As I prepared for tonight's segment, it occurred to me before we get into the various solutions that may be available to folks that are going through a foreclosure, if I were to take my lawyer hat off and put my counselor hat on, there are 3 initial thoughts that I have to this entire issue. 2 real main ones that I'm going to dwell on this evening. The first one is the emotional dynamic of a foreclosure, the stress that's brought to bear on a couple, on a family, on a household. And I want to encourage your viewers tonight to remember that while home ownership is a quintessential American dream, and while debt is very important in our society and assets are very important in our society, the legacy that most of us leave behind is family. It's not a house, it's not stuff, it's family. In our office, we do a ton of divorce work as well. And there are a ton of people that come to us for a divorce because of all the stress connected with a house foreclosure or other financial debt issues. So I want to encourage our viewers to put things in perspective. House is important. Foreclosure is a traumatic thing. Family is more important. Marriage is more important. So please put it in perspective, and in our office, we'll do our very best to help. The second point that I want to make before we get on to the solutions that may be available to folks going through a foreclosure, the seriousness of this matter has led to a growth of TV ads, of direct mail pieces from debt consolidation companies, storefront legal clinics, folks that want you to come in and perhaps play on your fear and want you to come into their office and portray this foreclosure issue and bankruptcy issues as really simple. They're not simple. It's taken most of us a long time to save up to buy a house. It's taken many of us a long time to accumulate some debt. So it's taken years for that, and it's not going to go away with a flip of a finger. It takes some effort. It's a complicated area of the law. In our office, we take this seriously, and we try to go the extra mile for our clients. We don't take this flippantly, and it's very important, buyer beware, that you retain good, competent legal counsel to help you through the foreclosure issues, and that's what we do in our office. So I encourage your viewers to pick up the phone, give us a call. We'll be happy to speak with you on a very, very serious issue such as foreclosure and bankruptcy.
And are there some alternatives to avoiding a foreclosure? Are there some assistance? Is there ways to be assisted with foreclosures? And I guess as a follow-up question, are there ways to slow down the foreclosure process?
Good question, Mike. The first threshold issue or question that we address when we have a client meet with us on this issue is whether they want to keep their home and the related mortgage debt, or whether they want to lose their home and the related mortgage debt. So we try to examine what the client's needs are, what the client's wants are. If the client wants to keep their home, then we look at all kinds of alternatives, one of which may be bankruptcy, one of which may be negotiating a new mortgage. There are two federal programs that are rather popular out there these days, the HAMP program and the HARP program, that may lead to a rewriting of the mortgage and help these folks keep their home. If we pursue a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, sometimes a 7 might work and sometimes a 13 might work. One of the things that I want to make the viewer aware of tonight is a bankruptcy is a difficult thing. It's not an easy thing to pull the trigger and decide to go through a bankruptcy. But what I want people to be aware of, they're not alone. In our town, Amcor Bank, bankrupt. General Motors, bankrupt. Chrysler, bankrupt. So bankruptcy is an option that may be out there, and I would encourage the viewers to give us a call. If bankruptcy is a way to go, we'll be happy to examine that and proceed accordingly.
Okay, and we have about 30 seconds left, and home foreclosures are not the only thing. There's also business and farm foreclosures. Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, we do a lot of this work in our office, and we've represented over time a number of farmers and a number of businesses. They too can struggle. There's a particular place in our culture for the American farmer. We feed the world. So there's a particular bankruptcy code, a Chapter 12 section of the bankruptcy code for farmers. So my word here is, if you're running a business and you've got some difficult times, or if you're a family farm and you've got some difficult times, don't hesitate to give us a call. We'll see if we can't help you as well.
Okay, and we remind you that you can call right now. There are attorneys from the Crosby Law Firm standing by as we speak. We will talk to John Hanson about paternity law. He's from the American Law Firm, coming up.